Well, good morning, folks, and welcome to another episode of Papa Key's Kitchen. Don't know if I get this adjusted a little better, so my head ain't all cut off. But it's that time of year where I guess I'm going to start making some pies for the Christmas holidays. And today, the first pie I'm going to make is the old-fashioned pecan pie. But mine's a little bit different because I'm going to use pure Vermont maple syrup in it. But before I can do any of that, I got to make up some pie crust. So I got enough here to make at least 3 pies. Simple is shortening. There's about 2.5 cups of shortening there. I got about 2.5 tablespoons of salt, and I don't know, looks like about 6, close to 6, maybe more cups of flour. We'll see how that works out. And what I gotta do is I gotta make my first crust for the pecan pie. It'd be a single crust, but I gotta roll it out, and then I gotta put it into the and freeze it before I use it. And yeah, well, let's get the pie dough made first, and we'll go from there. First, I'll dump in 3 cups of that. Some of my shortening, not all of it just yet. I'll throw in the salt. Simple. And I'll start turning it. It's about 20 degrees out there this morning. Yep. I went out and filled up my bird feeder so my furry friends can have something to eat. They struggle a little in the wintertime. Now I'm going to clean up my bottoms. It's always nice to have a clean bottom. That's what they always say. Yeah. Alright. With that, I'm going to dump in some more shortening. Shortening bread. You like shortening bread? Guess you call it shortbread. My mother always made us a lot of that cornbread. Yeah. And we throw some gravy over the tops of them. Sometimes you chop up some beef and some eggs and make a gravy mixture and cover up them Johnny cakes, or whatever you want to call them. They were quite tasty. Of course, we never had a lot of money. We had that little farm, but, you know, we always struggled, but we grew our own food, raised our own hogs, had our own beef or chickens. Yeah. We survived, but our cellar looked like a grocery store. My mother did all that canning. And that's where I learned how to can, was from her. She worked her fingers to the bone making all that stuff. Father made us some root beer too, you know, the big barrels of root beer. Oh, that was tasty stuff. There we go. Now I add a little bit of water to this. You have to judge it. You don't want to put in too much, a little bit at a time. Now we'll scrape again. You know, dough keeps in the refrigerator pretty well, so if you make it up, or it'll keep, no problem. As I said, this is quite a lot of flour, so ought to be good for at least 3 pies. Depends if they're singles or doubles. You want to wait before I put any more water in there because I'm not sure. Get it all mixed through all the way. There. Put you over here. Flour up my table. I like a real nice flaky crust. Get that out of the way. See, if you find that it was a little bit wet from putting that water in there, you just add in some flour so you can work with it. I'll cut these. There's 4 of them. Now what I'm going to do is refrigerate this dough for a while before I use it. Put them in a little bag like this. Pull the zipper. And then squeeze the air out. Then you got them in the refrigerator when you need them and just pull them out. You can do pizza dough the same way, you know, if you want to make up a bunch of pizza dough and leave it in there. You can even freeze pizza dough. I used to make up big batches at my deli I used to have years ago, and I put it in the walk-in after I made a huge batches and separated them so they'd go a week or two, and then I'd make another big batch. You know, jack of all trades I was. Law enforcement, moms and pop stores. I had four mom and pop stores at one time. I had one in St. Albans, Vermont. Had one in Montgomery, Vermont. Had one in the southern part of the state, and my biggest one I had was in Johnson, and I had, I think 19 employees. And I did law enforcement and let my managers run the stores, and not that I wasn't there to keep my eyeball on those cash registers, you know. But, yeah. Well, so I'll be back after that's chilled a little bit. Well, I'm back. Well, I got my crust in the freezer. It's been in there for about 45 minutes, so I'm probably almost frozen. But for this pecan pie, I just wanted to go over my recipe. Maybe I ought to, instead of having them all on these papers there, I ought to try to put it in the computer. But that would take me forever, wouldn't it? I've got so many recipes that I've written down over the years, and sometimes I find some good old ones that I dig them out. And I was going to make some what do you call it, meatloaf next week. Well, maybe this week. I don't know. I got 2 more pork chops, so in 2 days I'm going to make some of that. And that should go me another week. So, recipe. I've got some melted butter. There's about a quarter of butter. Make sure it's melted. I got 3 large eggs. I've got a 1.5 cups of pecans. I have here a whole cup of pure Vermont maple syrup. Over here we have, what do we got here? About 3/4 cups of sugar, granulated sugar. Actually, that's not quite 3/4, is it? Yeah, it is. And then I got nutmeg. How much nutmeg did I put in there? Tablespoon. I got 2 tablespoons of vanilla. I have some cinnamon, a good tablespoon of that. What else we got here? Got about 3/4 tablespoons of salt. I think that's about all I need to make this. So we'll do the dance. You go over here for a minute. I just want to take care of my spices. Back to the good old spice rack for till next time, buddies. And the nutmeg over here. All right. Looks like I got everything out of the way. So I'm gonna dump in my 3 eggs. Oh, you know what? I need that spatula thingy. Clean out my cup here a little bit. Well, you see the price of these eggs lately? Oh my God, I think I'm going to take and buy me some chickens for my spare room. Yeah, then I could use that fertilizer shit in the summertime for my garden to grow my peppers. Wouldn't that work out pretty good? I wonder if the park people would holler at me if they smelled chicken shit. And my butter. My sister raises chickens. She lets hers run loose, but she has quite a few of them. Occasionally she'll give me some eggs. She also works at a food shelf, so once in a while she'll give me a good hunk of meat out of that place, which is appreciated very muchly. Remember, my address is in the description if you want to send me your recipe. Wouldn't mind trying that. Always trying something different. Yeah, I want to make sure I don't waste any of this. It's liquid gold up here. Guess it is everywhere. I think it's $45 a gallon up here. I don't know what you get it if you ordered it, but I'm sure it's probably a lot more than that. But a gallon of syrup will go you a long time. In the spring, I go around to all the sugar houses and I do some filming. And I end up buying, probably a half a gallon from each place. And I go to at least 3 different sugar houses and film how they're boiling and stuff. It's a lot of fun. And some of them have homemade donuts and a lot of other stuff there that I can try out. And that's going to be fun in the spring to do. But it gives me enough maple syrup to pretty much get me through the cooking that I do during the summer and winter. But right now I'm down to, well, this is about it, so it'll be probably the end of February before I can get some more. We're going to add my sugar next. I get rambling here. I got to pay attention to what I'm doing. In goes the nutmeg. I like the smell of nutmeg, don't you? That and cinnamon. Oh, I like the smell of cinnamon. I like them red cinnamon discs there. A lot of times you can buy a big bag of those, but the trouble is, if you buy the sugar-free ones, they don't taste the same as the other ones. No, it's different. And then goes my vanilla. And my salt. Can't forget my nuts. I want to put my nuts in there. There, pecan nuts. The only thing I gotta do now is mix these all up. Now I got a few extra pecans in case I want to decorate the top a little bit. Sonny, my boy, asked me to make this for him for Christmas, and I said I would. A lot of times he gives me some of his venison from his deers that he gets. Pretty good to me. Now in this mixture I don't use the whole pecans, I break them up because they're easier for me to chew. But on the top, I try to use the whole one. All right. That should be pretty well mixed up. Take off this paddle daddle. Clean off the excess. All right, that's done. Now I got my oven on at, what did I set that at? Should be, I got it on 425. And you want to have it on 425 for the first 15 minutes. And then turn it down to about 350 until it's done. Might take another 30-35 minutes. But just keep an eye on it and you'll see if it's done or not. I gotta go find my frozen pie crust now. Now this is that pie crust I just made a few minutes ago. And well, I should say quite a while ago, actually. It was an hour ago or so. And it's frozen. And you want to make sure it's frozen. I really don't know why. But there must be a good reason. I just do as I'm told. Alright, let's do some barreling out here. Whew. Now I had that much left over. That's alright. I'll eat it. I want to make sure that that's not going to overflow. Now I want to open up this thing. You know, as you get older, it's harder to open things. You notice that? Well, probably you're not old like I am, but you're not 3/4 of a century old. At least I don't think you are. So, we'll try to find some whole ones here, and we'll kind of decorate it around. Try to make it look a little prettier. Some of these are already broken up. I'm going to set this on a sheet tin because you don't want it all over the bottom of your oven because it's hard to get out and it makes it smoky. Smokey the Bear. Where's pink underwear? I used to like them cartoons. Boo Boo Bear, Yogi. And that bird that ran away from that fox all the time, he was a good fellow too to watch. Roadrunner. Probably I don't have to be quite so fancy with this, but if I was going to eat it myself, I'd just throw them on there. But when I do it for other people, it's try to make it a little nicer. All right. I'll save these pecans to make some chocolate turtles with them. Everybody loves them chocolate turtles. They're easy to make. I made some here a few weeks ago. Get on there without falling overboard. Now, isn't that pretty? Yep, we'll get her into the oven and get her to baking. Watch me trip and fall just before I get to the oven door. That's what I usually do. Ooh, puppy's hot. In you go. Do a good job, old Evan. Well, I kind of enjoyed this one. Hope you did too. And when she's done baking, I'll show you what it looks like. Well, you all have a great day, and until next time. Well, folks, there it is. Ain't that pretty? Yep. Golden brown crust. That looks yummy. Now, I had a little bit left over of my mix, so instead of wasting it, I got a pot out and I made a miniature. I'm sure my son would like that. If I can figure out how to get it out there without breaking it all apart. Well, anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Till my next one.